Good afternoon, everyone. It's June the 27th, 2023, and today I just wanted to express my opinion and talk a little bit more about Julie's video that I put up yesterday on the stabbing at the mission and the fact that a couple of our police officers unfortunately had to shoot a man who was whatever, for whatever reason, he also had a knife, but it's not so much that as the stabbing that I'm more interested in today. I wanted to, oh my goodness, I'm getting tired here. It's been a long day. Okay, today it's more of, we're seeing more and more people carrying knives. This is what I wanted to express today. And I think the big question today is how do we keep ourselves safe? This situation that we find ourselves in is like a brewing storm over time. With a storm, it happens in only a short period of time, a few hours, which can happen overnight in this case. Unfortunately, both the opioid crisis and the need for people who are in vulnerable positions are feeling the need to carry knives too, in many cases, giving them a false feeling of protection. In other cases, people use it solely as a weapon and to just plain terrorize people. Or, in perhaps this case, a chance at some sort of revenge, which puts the question out, why was this man stabbed at least 2 times prior to the stabbing? Was it because of his behavior, because he was drunk, or something more? Example, was he also on drugs and didn't pay his dealer, or much more? It opens up all kinds of questions and motivations behind it. Or someone on drugs out of control. Whatever the cause, it is very upsetting to everyone. But to find ourselves at this point, it did not happen overnight. This was years in the making, not something like a storm brewing overnight. This opioid addiction and all its related problems attached. This has brought about ignorance, looking at the other way, that this is not real or doesn't exist. Plus, just plain neglect to the situation has brought us to this point. Perhaps the answer to the question to how to keep ourselves safe, we need to take a step back in time. How just one event that happened to change the world, and how the world started to look at how we saw security measures. Of course, that event was 2001 and 9/11. Having once been a security guard and working in government buildings, after 9/11, there was drastic measures in security, where once as a security guard, I would simply sign in government employees in my book to record this. This was the same as our commissioners, along with face recognition, along with the signatures. Today, federal employees carry a card, like a credit card, with the necessary personal information to enter the building, to tap, and the gates to open to let them in. Yet this is another card for us to carry in our wallets and to worry about even losing. Then there is today to go into the court. Now we have to go through metal detectors and try and remember what metal, such as my belt buckle, is going to set the detectors off, where you hope you don't accidentally set them off. How embarrassing. Or things now also have to go through x-ray machines, example, the airports. I can remember a time at the age of 17 when security was much more relaxed and freedom felt like freedom. At 17, and the date was 1970, I had the wonderful experience of taking a trip overseas to Holland, Belgium, France, England, and Scotland. This was through the school, taking students like me on a tour for the month of August. What a way to explore the world at age 17. We got on the plane on the U.S. side of Niagara Falls. As we crossed the Atlantic Ocean in the plane, the sun was setting. The pilot gave us all a treat by dipping the wings so we could enjoy the sun set. Then, much to our delight, one by one, we were invited into the cockpit to see the full view of the sunset, which was just spectacular. to see the sunset from this advantage in the air. However, this would not happen today. There was no major security precautions at either the airport or on the plane. This to me represents a time of freedom and living in a much safer world. So what is the answer to today's world for safety? Perhaps it's to expand on the metal detectors, for example. Perhaps there will become a need to put metal detectors in our schools. At the moment, the crisis with our homeless and the immediate fear of violence, perhaps we need to look at hiring security guards with metal detector wands to check both clients and personnel in the shelters as well as the drop-in centers. Just another layer of protection for everyone involved. And if knives, for example, can be caught in the early stages, and the police can be called and they can set up a database as to who in the homeless may be carrying knives and at risk for using them in an appropriate manner. This would also perhaps help to protect the public as well. Even myself, in a previous video, I described being with my service dog running into a man high and a butter knife in his hands. I had no idea what his intentions or if harm was going to come to me or my dog, as we don't have enough police officers to have them on every street corner. So what do we do in high-risk areas of the city? Put cameras on every corner? Just a minute. To detect bad behavior and using face recognition to protect everyone. I know the wonderful past that people could enjoy the benefits of what freedom looks like. Today, though, the future leaves us feeling of a big mark, question mark. Is it because of all this bad behavior that our freedoms are all slowly becoming stripped away? Growing up with the honor system, and yes, we did have crime back then, but things are getting to be more violent in today's world. So the question remains, how do we protect ourselves? I have one more thing to show you before I sign off for my opinion today. I'm going to re-show you the knife I found in 2018 on the lawn about 3 months after the safe injection sites were put into place here in Ottawa. And this is a knife here. I'm going to get it. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to try and bring it close to the scene. And it's quite a long knife. You notice how it's very pointed at the end. Look at how smoothly it is. And I'm just going to bring it up and look at those teeth. Very nasty teeth. And a very solid handle as well. So all you have to do is very nicely slide in the knife, and once it's in, all you have to do is twist it. So that could be a nice rip once it's in position where you want it, or you're hoping to stab the person. So this is one of the things that I just wanted to express today to people, that I am concerned about knives, and of course metal detectors also detect guns as well, so hopefully we could come up with a few of those that are apparently people are carrying. Perhaps this is the only way we're going to have a safer society. But it's because of our bad behavior that our society is being stripped of all our freedoms today. And it's just going to get a lot worse if people do not start behaving themselves. And all these drug dealers and people who, oh, well, we'll just get the quick cash, don't realize that maybe this is one day what's going to happen, is when you see like on CIS and all these other police programs, they literally have where, well, you can check a camera here and find a vehicle or identify something. So maybe that's the way the future is going to be. Having cameras on every street corner with face recognition. If something bad happens, then we're going to catch the bad guys a lot quicker. So it's our own behavior that's causing us to lose our freedoms in many cases today. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of my opinion today. Appreciate you on my views. And again, have a nice day and be safe and enjoy the summer and take care. Bye-bye.